What's up, guys? I am up on Clark today. You know what? I had to stop and get something to eat. I didn't eat no breakfast. I did the live show, and then a friend came over. So anyways, I stopped up here. There you go. Sitting Bull Restaurant Coffee Shop. It's in the area called the Pavilion Mall up here on Clark. It used to be called Charlie's. But it's now Sitting Bull Restaurant. It's the same owner of the Sitting Bull Restaurant down in Barrio Barreto. I've eaten down there, I've eaten up here. Good food. But you know what? Today I ordered a grilled ham and cheese. And like I said, there's not many things, you know, there's certain things that like you just like, oh man, this is, you know, it excites you. This grilled ham and cheese, I didn't get no picture of it. I should have. Man, it was spot on. I've ordered grilled ham and cheese here, you know, a little bit of meat, a little bit of cheese, but man, I'll tell you what, that was the best grilled ham and cheese sandwich I've had here in the Philippines. I'm not exaggerating. You know, I'll go to places, I might not like the food, but I won't trash the place. But I'll tell you what, that was awesome, that grilled ham and cheese. Like I said, Sitting Bull up here on Clark. Same people, same owners as the one down in Barrio Barreto. So what am I doing up here on Clark today? I came across a road the other day when I was up here that I heard people mention this road in the past, but I didn't know where it was at. And like I said, I know people mention this road. So I came across it the other day, and there's where I'm heading. When I head to this place, maybe some of you guys that are familiar with this road can let me know why this road is so, well, people know it. Plus I'm going to check a couple other places I like to check out, so let's get going. You know what, guys, as you're driving through Clark here, and I've seen this, and I've stopped now today to check this out. You'll see a lot of these throughout Clark here, and it doesn't look like they're well maintained, but you see these memorial statues here. This is ML Quezon Avenue, Bong Highway it was called, and Nino Aquino Avenue, Dau Avenue. But you see these plaques here. This is Captain Colonel P. Kelly, flew on a mission with his crew aboard the U.S. fighter aircraft known as the Flying Fortress, successfully bombing the Japanese cruiser in Apering, Cagayan in 1941. He died on his way back to Clark when his plane was attacked by Japanese fighter pilots by Lieutenant Saki Saburo. He was, I can't read that, afterward he was given the Distinguished Service Cross by General Douglas MacArthur and President Franklin Roosevelt. Kelly was the first West Pointer in U.S. history to fly the Flying Fortress. But you'll see these plaques here, and I never stopped to really look. So that's Captain Colin P. Kelly, and that's his story. Over here is another one. It's really faded. This is really faded. Original hangar and flight line. It's all faded out. Lieutenant Colonel Boyd Buzz D. Wagner. Lieutenant Colonel Boyd Buzz D. Wagner, as a captain, was the commander of the 17th. It's hard to read because it's all faded. Douglas MacArthur for his highest. It's hard to read, but Lieutenant Colonel Boyd Buzz D. Wagner. So I wonder if that's what the Wagner Elementary School that was here was named after him. You wonder. I mean, it's Wagner. But like I said, you do see these plaques throughout Clark here. And today I figured, you know what, let me stop and check it out. So, a little bit of history I learned. All right, guys, here's another area. I've driven past this area quite a bit too. And you can just tell that it used to be old military barracks. I've never filmed down here. Let me show you here. You can see that these are old military barracks. Now, I just talked to the guys that were there. This is a lot of PNP training through here. Philippines National Police Aviation Security Unit number 3. So you can see that these buildings are being used. I mean, you can't mistake the fact that these were Air Force barracks at one point in time. That must be canine, I don't know, canine dogs, or doesn't say anything about canine. But you can see the old buildings. There it is, Public of the Philippines National Police Communication Training Service Region Special Training Unit 3. But they go all the way down through here. I love RSTU 30, RSTU 3. But they are being used. You can see they're being used. All right, guys, I have found what I've been looking for. And like I said, maybe some of you guys can let me know, because I've heard this mentioned a lot in the past. And I found it, and we're going to go check it out. This is the same road that them what do you call it? We're on the old barrack buildings and stuff. But here we go. I am at this intersection here, and this is what I've been looking for. Here we go. You ready? Like I said, I've heard people mention this, and I found it. Lily Hill Street M8. This is, and the road we're on now is, let me get over this way, Gil Puyat Avenue, Marat Highway. But Lily Hill, I've heard people talk about Lily Hill, and this is Lily Hill. So I'm going to head up Lily Hill, hopefully, if they let me. I guess I'll find out if they can or if they can't. Philippine Science High School this way. They're saying it's a high school up this way. So that's where we're going to head. Lily Hill. Here we go. Lily Hill. Let's see what's going up here. It says a goddess of peace shrine is up here also. That's one thing up here on Clark. There's so many roads. Some of them you can get up. Some of them you can't get up. Some of them are just completely overgrown. This one appears to be open. It's open to the public. If it wasn't, they'd have a gate there, not allowing you to come back in here. What are all these buildings for? Past, present, what are they being used for? I don't know. Some of them could still be abandoned. Lily Hill. There's a, I go back there. Let me, there was a sign back there that said Lily Hill, and a little bit of, looked like a little bit of history of it. Philippine Science High School is to the left. There appears to be the goddess of the peace shrine. I didn't know this was up here, guys. And I've been on Clark many, many times, and never once came up this way. You can see the road here is to the right is kind of overgrown, but we're climbing the hill. Looks like there's towers up here on the left. Like I said, nobody stopped me. It's open to the public. Vacancy. Big building on the left. Looks like apartments. Huh. Looks like we're kind of getting to the top here. And the road ends, and you cannot go in there. So, here it is, guys. The top of Lily Hill. Finally. Found it. You can see it's all grown over, so you can't really get a good view of anything here. That's gated off. It looked like the road kind of went to the right, but here it is. Let's go down. Let's check out that the little memorial and that little plaque that says I guess it's the history of Lily Hill. All right, guys, I'm at the Goddess of Peace Shrine here. I just got done talking to security officers here. Asked them about it. They kind of gave me a little bit of wrong information. That's the thing here. If you're on, a lot of people here, especially if they're younger and stuff, they don't really know the history of some of the things here that went on when Air Force Base was here and when the war happened and everything like that. It's not no fault of their own. They just don't study history. But here it is. The Goddess of the Peace Shrine. There's a little commemorative plaque right here. It's hard to read, but it's here. It's a peace shrine. Goddess of the Peace Shrine, not for the glorification of the it's hard to read, Kembu group, but rather for the use of war history as a tool for the promotion of goodwill, peace, and friendship among nations. So evidently it was put up here to promote peace amongst the nations. Rather interesting. All right, guys, so as you're coming up Lily Hill, I spotted this out of the corner of my eye. Now I'm back. It's a little history, I guess, of Lily Hill. Here's a little plaque. The name Lily was given to the Americans by Atas, which means lost in Kapapapanga, because it stands part for nearby hills and mountains. The Americans changed it from Lili, L-I-L-I, to Lily, L-I-L-Y. Since 1903, the Americans used Lily Hill as an observation post, and the Japanese followed suit when they occupied Clark. Major Higuchi Tsuburgo, I'm not big on Japanese names, the base commander of Clark Field from 1942 to 1945, dug several tunnels for air raid shelters and storage. During the last battles for Clark Field in 1945, Major Higuchi, with 800 of his men, the 31st Support Group, fought bitterly for the last standing battle against U.S. Army forces from the 14th Infantry Regiment, 37th Infantry Division, where more than 600 Japanese soldiers died. In 1955, the American opened some tunnels and found 2 Japanese warplanes and plenty of small artifacts attesting to the Japanese defense of Clark. So there it is. Wow. Would I love to know where those tunnels were, huh? That would be cool. That would be awesome. But there it is, Lily Hill. It was initially named Lili, L-I-L-I. The name was given by the Atas, meaning lost, in Kapapampangan. The United States changed the name to Lily, L-I-L-Y. So there it is, man. I just love history. I love learning about the history. Definitely up here on Clark, because there's so much history up here on Clark. Like I said, there's areas you just can't get into, security reasons, or they're just roads are just completely blocked off. So check that off my bucket list. I finally found Lily Hill. Since I'm up here, I'm going to check out 2 other places that I like to go to. All right, guys, so a trip up on Clark when I'm out exploring wouldn't be complete unless I came back and returned to the old Air Force Hospital. I've done quite a few videos of the old hospital. I just love this place. I don't know what intrigues me about the place. I mean, it's just a concrete old structure, but the history with the old Air Force Hospital here just intrigues me. I mean, this was used heavily during the Vietnam War. A lot of Vietnam casualties were brought over here, but I just love it. And every time I come up here exploring, I have to stop, check it out. Never gets old. Like I said, I've done videos inside this hospital with permission, from the very top floor all the way down to the bottom floor. A lot of history here. It is the #1 most haunted place in the Philippines. All right, so there is the old emergency room entrance. How do I know? Subscribers. Some of you guys, subscribers, told me that were here for medical treatment, told me that that was the emergency room. I know I also have subscribers that said, hey, my daughter was born there. I gave birth to my son there. A lot of history. It's a shame. It's a shame what happened to the old hospital. Down through here, you can see all this wood here. All this wood stacked up here. That was from when that typhoon came through. And all those branches were down. And they brought him in here, cut it up, and stacked it up. One thing you got to watch out for, and I only know this because a friend of mine came back in here, and I wouldn't have believed him, but he showed me proof. He came back in here and he said, dude, I almost ran over a cobra. I said, what do you mean? He goes, yeah. He goes, I was riding back in here and I seen a cobra go across the road. And the guy has cameras in the front of his bike and the back of his bike, and he played it back, and sure enough, there was a cobra, and he froze the picture and he sent it to me and everything like that. So there are wildlife, you know, cobras and stuff. Cobras are here in the Philippines, you know. But this is a great area for food, you know, in between them logs of high grass and everything like that. But here's some of the back buildings here. One of the buildings here was used for like mental health. Guys returning from Vietnam and having mental issues, and like I said, there's a lot of sad history here also. You can see that there, that appeared to be like a walkway that was covered at one time. Came from these buildings back here all the way through up to the old hospital. That area back in there, that's sure like dock area from what I was told, where the trucks came in to receiving goods for in the hospital. That was a dock area. But like I said, it wouldn't be a complete trip exploring around Clark unless I stepped and came up to the old hospital. All right, guys, so this is my last stop. Once again, it wouldn't be complete exploring Clark unless I stopped by here. The Canine Cemetery. It's kind of grown up. Looks like it needs a grass cutting. But this is Canine Cemetery. The canines from the military, when the military was here, the dogs were buried here. I've done videos on this also. Here's an empty stone right here. There used to be a plaque right here. I did some research. It is supposedly back in the United States. When the United States left, they took that plaque. But this, I always like just coming up here. This was all redone not too long ago. They removed all the stones and put more ground in here and replaced all the stones. I've done videos on this. There's names of some of the dogs here. Silver, Crush, it's got their name on it. Hasso, the number Y091, I guess that's their number for the canine dog. Hichon. There's some that have the plaques with the dogs' names on it, and others, I'll show you. Here's another one, Max D219, and then there's some others here. A lot of these towards the back, the names are just wore off with just time and weather and the sun and for whatever other reason. But like I said, I always like coming up here too and just stopping. Tigger, Blue, L615, Storm, Lobo, Angus, Juno, Sully, Ben, Rocky, King, Elmer, Byron, Tank, Jack. Just naming off a few of the names here. A matter of fact, I know a subscriber had told me that their dog was buried in here. So yeah, I mean, this, like I said, this is just part of the history here also. So anyways, guys, I'm gonna go home. It's starting to warm up. Like I said, I love history, and a lot of history up here on Clark. I'd love to find them tunnels. Now that would be cool. So anyways, guys, with that being said, take care of yourself, take care of each other, take care of the sick, the elderly, and the young if you have pets. And I know the owners of these pets at one time took very good care of them. And with that being said, we'll talk to you later.